Hi, this is Gary with Aldan American. Hopefully you've seen some of the videos that I've done with Aldan American. One of the things that I like to let people know is I'm a lifetime hot rodder. This 69 El Camino behind us, I've had since 1979. It's been through a few different iterations. It's had 4 or 5 different sets of wheels and tires. One of the sets of wheels and tires I really liked the car with is I had a set of the original SS wheels with the red stripes on it. And at that time, one of my desires was to win Super Chevy Sunday. And we went to Phoenix, we went to Sears Point, we went to Bakersfield, we did Pomona. Ultimately, I ended up winning every single one of those shows once or twice over the years. It's had quite a few engines and transmissions from small blocks to big blocks. Right now it has a 396 in it. Richmond 5-speed that I put in it in the late 80s. So when we got the car originally in '79, the engine and transmission were long gone. The story was that it had been a drag race car. It had ladder bars on it, just the bolt-on Lakewood ladder bars. That wasn't going to work for what I wanted. I wanted to do a little bit more driving of the car. It was like a cruise night, street car, fun car. So that was the first suspension change the car had, taking the ladder bars off, putting a 442 rear sway bar, did the Z28, 78, 79 front sway bar on it for an 1.25 inch bar. It's had quite a few different spring combinations in it over the years. It's been a little bit high, it's had a little bit of rake, it's been a little bit low, and I've just had a lot of fun with the car over the years. But one of the biggest things was in the beginning, I was a high school kid back in the late 70s, early 80s, and most of what we were doing was low budget. So going with like the 442 sway bar, my dad and I would go to Pick Apart and we'd crawl around, find a 442, get the 3/4 wrench out, and we ripped that sway bar off, brought it home, put it on the El Camino, and we had a rear sway bar. But junkyards like that aren't really around anymore, so companies like Aldan American and other companies have made aftermarket upgrade parts. And for me, a lot of the upgrade parts that I've been developing and designing over the years have all revolved around some of the stuff that I learned real early in the 80s. Starting about 83 or 84, I went to work for Dick Gullstrand. Gullstrand was an old Corvette Camaro racer, and he had a really neat little shop. He was one of the first guys to really get into suspension components, and his real love was Corvettes and Camaros. Ultimately, Gullstrand had other irons in the fire, so they did a lot of development work for General Motors, mainly on Corvettes and Camaros. They also did a program with Monroe, which was the Formula GP, and that was their high-performance shock that they developed in the 80s. And when I was at Gullstrand, I transitioned to working on the shock program when they were doing all of the development work for Monroe. So in the early 80s is when I first started working on shocks. Gullstrand had a mail-order suspension department, and he was one of the first ones to actually sell hot rod suspension parts for like the Camaros and the Corvettes. And I went upstairs and I ran the suspension division. So it was a mail order, people would call you up. That was way before internet and computers, so it was word of mouth, magazine articles, and developed some new products, mainly Chevelle stuff because we already had the Camaros and the Corvettes, and did that for about 10 years. And the economy changed a little bit and people weren't ordering parts, and at that point I decided it was time to move on. And at that point I went on and I was doing some stuff working out of the house. I was just kind of working on friends' cars and taking in some projects here and there, just kind of staying alive. I didn't have a lot of expenses. I wasn't married, I didn't have kids, so it was real easy to just work on friends' cars and do that kind of stuff. And I did that for a couple of years, and I was comfortable, but I wasn't making a lot of money by any means. And then I got the phone call that was kind of one of those interesting phone calls. And my good buddy Jim Losey, who just recently passed away, he's been very instrumental. He actually is how I heard about the job at Gullstrand. So now Losey's working for Edelbrock. And I guess Vic had decided he wanted to get into the aftermarket suspension business. So I get this phone call on a Friday afternoon and says, "Hey, Vic wants to talk to you." And I said, "Well, what's he want to talk about?" And Losey says, "Well, when you get here, you'll find out." He says, "I'm not really sure what's going on." So Friday night, 6 o'clock, I'm sitting down in Vic's office, And he says, I would really like to get into suspension. What can we do? And I said, well, you've got the exhaust division, so you already have the ability to cut and fabricate and machine and make steel products. I says, I've got a few ideas that we can do. And needless to say, at the end of that conversation, about an hour and a half later, Vic says, I want you to head up my new suspension division. And it was kind of an interesting conversation because when I walked in the door, I had no idea what Vic wanted. And ultimately, here I am, it's like, been given a job offer, and it's like, how can you refuse Vic Edelbrock on a Friday night at about 7 o'clock at night that he wants you to be his new head of his suspension division? I made fixtures and did a lot of interesting things to develop the suspension line, but ultimately Vic decided one day, we were at a Christmas party, and he says, hey, I'm thinking we're gonna get into the shock absorber business. And I said, well, that's kind of an interesting thing. So ultimately, at the Christmas party, we're now in the shock absorber business. I want you to be the first one on the shock program. So ultimately, I got involved in the shock program doing development, and myself and a couple of other people, there were some real engineers. I'm not a degreed engineer, but I know how to make stuff. I understand how it works. And so we got the shock division started, and it was already, the concept and the design of the shock was already built and made, and there was some patents on it that came down from Rycor. And so we went, and like a year later, year and a half later, we're now producing shock absorbers in a brand new building in Torrance. And when I left the shock program, you know, again, it was an economy thing. Sales were slipping. I went back to bumming around, working out of the house. I did a little of that. Ended up at California Street Rods. Another friend of mine said, hey, they're looking for somebody. And I thought at this point, I wanted to do something that was a little bit out of my normal realm, even though I've always been working on hot rods and stuff. And I went there for about a year and a half, 2 years, and did final assembly, did a lot of wiring and assembling of hot rods. And like I said, it was about a year and a half, you know, time frame. And ultimately I went to work for a gentleman that had a car collection, and he had about 50 cars in his collection. And I worked there for about 10 years, maintaining and keeping the cars registered, keeping them drivable. And then ultimately I've ended up here at Aldan. So when I started at Aldan, which was about 10 years ago now, right after Garrett had purchased the company, the shock was pretty much a hot rod shock you would put on, like, say, a 32 or a Model A. It really had never been developed into direct fits. So when I got involved, one of the first things Garrett said is, he says, hey, I'd really like to do this Mustang coilover kit. And he had already had somebody that was a friend of the family. I don't remember who it was now. He had a couple of ideas that he had started, and I kind of looked at it and I said, well, that's not how I would do it. And so Garrett said, well, how would you do it? And so at that point, put together the Mustang coilover kit. And at that time, we didn't have the studio that we have now. So I actually was working out of my home shop and built all the pieces, prototyped it, put it together, and said, hey, Garrett, this is how I would do it. 6-8 weeks later, we're into production, having brackets built and making shocks. So 10 years later, we have approximately 400 part numbers in the catalog that are direct fit. And a lot of those part numbers are a single adjustable, double adjustable, a front only or a rear only kit. So it's not like there's 400 whole new kits developed. And in doing all of that, ultimately I ended up doing videos because I kind of knew the product, I knew how to install it. We set a studio up here at our new location in Signal Hill. After developing the Mustang kit and getting it started into production, I said, we really need to do an A-body kit. We need to do a Chevelle, we need to do the El Caminos, the Olds 442s, the GTOs. Those have always been my interest. I've always loved those cars. So I looked at what Aldan had, and we had a stem style shock. We really weren't selling very many of them. And I said, so we can adapt that into the Chevelle, but what we would need to do is make a spring that fit into the upper pocket with a large diameter. And at the bottom, we needed a 2.5-inch ID coil so it would fit on the spring seat. and make it an adjustable ride height shock. So after overcoming needing to make a spring, we took the existing stem style shock, and lo and behold, we now have a front coilover kit. The next obstacle was to build a rear kit. Again, kind of looked at what needs to be, how to build a bracket off of the lower trailing arm axle bolt area, and how to mount it to the upper end. Made a couple of brackets, took an existing shock, which is our 16.5-inch 658, and tried a bunch of different springs, and now we had a rear kit. And it was a pretty simple process, but doing a coilover kit for the A-body car was something I really wanted to do all the way back in Edelbrock days. The biggest advantages of coilovers are on the rear, you've got a lot of choices for spring rate. You've also got ride height adjustability. We can go up, we can go down. So this kit in standard form is going to go from about a stock ride height to about a 3-inch drop. And otherwise, with the pigtail springs, you were really stuck with heating coils, which we all know is not the best way of doing it, or making a coil from scratch, which most people at home don't have the ability to do. In later years, lowering coils have become available, but whatever the spring is only what you can do for the ultimate ride height. So by doing it this way, we have adjustability. The other nice thing is we have dampening adjustability in the shocks. Now, dampening adjustability is nothing new. It's been around for a long time, like the Aldans have been around since the 80s. But having a coilover, having dampening adjustment to go from soft to firm, we have single and double adjustable. Put all of that together was really able to come up with a great riding, driving suspension. So the suspension that I had taken off of this car, over the years I've had a lot of different coil springs all the way back from the Gullstrand days. I had a set of springs and a set of shocks that we developed at Edelbrock for the A-body car. And even with that I had developed it, but I was also working around trying to make it fit a small block, it fit a big block, it fit a Chevelle, it fit an El Camino. It was never exactly what I wanted. And so when I took the last set of suspension off, which was a set of lowering coil springs, went to the Aldans, put it all together, did my adjustments. We've brought the car up into a modern adjustable coilover style. We've had singles, we've had doubles, tested them all. And I find that just overall, I'm the most happy I've been with this car in 40 years. With the coilovers, with the adjustability, you can really get the ride quality, the handling in, and that's something that's very difficult to do with a specific spring that fits in a stock location. So you get it out on the highway, it's got a real nice ride quality. You go into corners, it's got a real nice transition feel. I really like the way the coilovers work. I'm very happy with what we've done. Here at Aldan, we believe great rides start with the right suspension, and my El Camino proves that fact.